Hi there and welcome to another ProBlogger video post. It's been one of those days at the Rowse house. In fact, it's been one of those weeks for us. We'd been planning to go away at the end of the week for 10 days to the beach, up interstate to a beautiful little place that we love to go. And really looking forward to it. We've booked our flights, we've booked some accommodation, and our son Xavier unfortunately came down with a cold during the week and then extended into a flu, and now he's perforated his eardrum, and so he can't fly. So suddenly we're confronted with what do we do? We've got some time off, where do we go, how do we do it? We didn't have a backup plan, unfortunately, for this sort of eventuality. I mean, who could predict that it would happen? And I guess what I want to talk about today is the backup plan. As bloggers, I think we need to think about the worst case scenarios before they happen, especially if we're developing a business around our blogging. There's a couple of levels. Firstly, on a posting sort of level to keep your blog going in the worst case scenario. I've posted about what to do when you're sick with your blog before, and I'll link to that in this post. Thinking ahead about how you would keep your blog running in that sort of a way. But I guess on a bigger picture level as well, it's worth thinking about how would you keep your blog running if the worst happened. How would you keep, I guess, the income streams that your blog might be generating in the worst case scenarios? What would happen to you, to your family, your livelihood if all your traffic disappeared, if your blog was hacked and deleted, if people turned against you and you had no readers left? I don't want to be pessimistic, I don't want to scare you with these sorts of scenarios, but it's worth thinking about and developing some strategies that you could put into place if these things happen. I guess there's a number of things that I would encourage bloggers to do, particularly in the early days of their blogging before that they have an income stream that is regular and can be guaranteed that will continue to come in. Firstly, you want to, I guess, have some backup skills that you might want to develop. I've been studying in a variety of different areas over the last 5 years so that one day if blogging disappears, if I decide I don't want to be a blogger anymore, I'll have other skills to fall back on and other areas that I could work in. I think that's smart to do. We don't know how long blogging will last. I personally think it'll last a long time, or that at least making money online will last a long time. But what if it doesn't? Have some other skills in your back pocket that you can pull out if this all goes crashing down. 2, network. I think it's really important to have as many contacts as you can that you can draw on, both in the here and now that can help you out, but also in future if things fall apart for you. To be able to call someone up and say, do you know of any opportunities? The possibilities of working with other people in different sorts of partnerships. The more you network, the better you go both in the present and in the future. I guess diversify your interests as well. I think that you can diversify too much, but I would encourage bloggers not just to rely on one blog, for instance. Have 2 or 3 internet properties that you invest time into, so that if one falls down, you may have other income streams that can continue from the others. You also want to diversify in terms of the income streams on your blogs. Don't put all your eggs in the one basket. For instance, a lot of bloggers rely heavily upon AdSense, or they rely heavily upon Chatika, or they rely heavily upon selling products from their blogs. I'd encourage bloggers to diversify and to experiment with a variety of different income streams for your blog, because if, heaven forbid, AdSense does go under one day, I highly doubt that it will, but if it did, you'd have something else in your back pocket that you could pull out, that you could put in its place. So diversify your interest in those ways. Diversify, if you can, the sources of traffic that come to your blog. Don't just rely on Google to send you traffic, or Dig or Stumble Upon or other blogs. Develop, I guess, a more holistic and balanced way of generating traffic. I'm not saying any of this to scare you. Like I said, I'm a very optimistic person, and I'm very optimistic about blogging and what it can bring a person. But I think we also need to be realistic, and we need to be responsible. I know as a father, as a husband, that my family depends upon the income that I've got. And whilst it's good that blogging brings me income at this point, I guess I need to be realistic and responsible in thinking about what would happen if it disappeared, so that my family could continue to, I guess, survive and be able to pay the mortgage and pay the bills that come in. So I guess the question I would ask is what would you do in the worst case scenario in your blogging situation? Have you thought about the plans that you've got, the other income streams that perhaps you could rely on, the ways that you can diversify, and the networks that you could expand that could help you get through some of those tough times? Just a couple of quick examples. For me, starting B5 Media was one way that I diversified. I leveraged the position and profile that I had to join with a number of other bloggers to bring in another income stream, an income stream which would help if all my own personal blogs disappeared. Starting the Pro Blogger job boards was a way of, adding another income stream to that blog. So that if the advertising dropped away on that blog, that I'd still be able to have an income stream around that. Developing partnerships, writing books, developing e-resources, all these types of things are ways that you can diversify, the income streams that you've got coming into your blogs. So I'd encourage you to have a bit of a think about that, and to perhaps share some of the ways that you've thought about those worst case scenarios and what you would do in them. And I'd love to hear about those in the comments on this blog post. Now I've got to hit the internet and find somewhere else for us to go over the next week for our holiday. If I don't speak to you in the next week or so because we're away, I hope you have a great couple of weeks, and I'll catch you up, Pro Blogger.